Did you know that up to 93% of communication effectiveness is determined by nonverbal cues? Yes, you heard that right. In the grand symphony of human interaction, words often play second fiddle to their more subtle counterparts. These are the unspoken signals that we send and receive constantly, often without even realizing it. They come in the form of body language, facial expressions, and gestures, and they hold the power to make or break our communication efforts. Picture a conversation without these cues. It's like trying to read a book with half the pages torn out. You might catch the general idea, but the nuances, the emotions, the true meaning, they get lost in translation. Understanding and mastering nonverbal communication is not only an art, it's a necessity. It's the key to effective communication, fostering better relationships, and ultimately, achieving success in your personal and professional life. So, the question is, how well do you interpret and use nonverbal cues? Scene script. Think about the times you've walked into a business meeting or a social gathering. Picture this. You're meeting a potential business partner for the first time. As you approach them, they extend their hand for a handshake. It's firm and assured, immediately conveying a sense of confidence. This simple action, devoid of any spoken words, speaks volumes about their self-assuredness and professionalism. The handshake is one of the most common forms of nonverbal communication, and it's often our first interaction in a professional setting. Now, let's move on to another scenario. Imagine you're in a job interview. The interviewer maintains steady eye contact throughout the discussion. This nonverbal cue shows their active engagement and interest in what you're saying. It conveys respect, attentiveness, and a genuine interest in the conversation. But remember, too much eye contact can be perceived as intimidating or intrusive. It's all about finding the right balance. Here's another example. You're giving a presentation to a group of colleagues. You notice one person with their arms crossed over their chest. This could suggest a defensive posture or a sign of discomfort or disagreement with what you're saying. However, it's important to note that nonverbal cues like this can be misinterpreted. Maybe they're just cold, or it's simply a comfortable position for them. This is why it's essential to consider the context and not rely on a single nonverbal cue to draw conclusions. But what about in a more casual setting, like a social gathering? You notice a friend leaning in while you're speaking. This is a nonverbal indication of their interest in your story. Their facial expressions also mirror your emotions, adding another layer of nonverbal communication that shows empathy and understanding. These examples illustrate how nonverbal communication permeates every facet of our interactions, from business meetings to casual conversations. They can convey confidence, interest, defensiveness, discomfort, and empathy. But they can also be misinterpreted, so it's crucial to consider the context and other cues. Remember, nonverbal cues can make or break your communication, so it's vital to pay attention to them. Now that you've seen the power of nonverbal communication, it's time to harness it. Just like verbal communication, nonverbal communication also requires practice and refinement to become effective. One of the best ways to start is by practicing in front of a mirror. Yes, it might feel strange at first, but it's an excellent method to become conscious of your facial expressions and body language. Imagine you're in a conversation. Play out scenarios, express different emotions, and watch your reflections. See how your face reacts when you're excited, serious, or nervous. Notice your body language when you're confident or when you're unsure. This self-awareness is the first step towards improving your nonverbal communication skills. Next, consider recording yourself. It may sound daunting, but it's one of the most effective ways to observe your nonverbal cues in real time. You can record a mock presentation, a conversation, or simply your reactions to various situations. Review the recordings and note down areas where you feel your nonverbal cues could be improved. Remember, it's not just about what you're saying, it's also about how you're saying it. Your tone of voice, the pace of your speech, the pauses you take, all these can convey as much, if not more, than the words themselves. Don't hesitate to seek feedback from others. Constructive criticism can be an invaluable tool in refining your nonverbal skills. Ask a trusted friend, a family member, or a mentor to watch your recordings and provide their input. Lastly, be mindful of the situation you're in. Different contexts call for different nonverbal cues. A professional setting might require a more formal body language, while a casual setting might allow for more relaxed gestures and expressions. Adapt your nonverbal communication to suit the situation and the people you're communicating with. With practice and awareness, you can become a master of nonverbal communication. Start today and see the difference it makes in your personal and professional life.